Hello, I'm Lorna Goldie, School Swimming and Water Safety Development Officer for Swim England, the national governing body for swimming. I'm here today to deliver a training course for swimming teachers who are working as part of the Active Black Country Water Safety Programme. Today is a bespoke workshop looking at how water safety delivery can support with the improvement of school swimming and water safety attainment across the Black Country. So I'm sure you all know Swim England's the national governing body for swimming, and my role is a national role to support wherever possible with school swimming. And although we're looking at family sessions as well today, this is the early intervention that will support with the improvement of school swimming. So that's why I'm here today. But what I'd like from you today is for you to get to know each other, particularly when we're in the pool. What you tend to find is some pools do one thing, other pools do another thing. I want you to share, steal ideas from each other, collaborate, work together. So try today not to just work with people who you always work with on poolside. Just as a bit brief disclaimer, anything that you do off the back of today, you need to be making sure that it fits your risk assessment and that you're doing dynamic risk assessments throughout your lessons. So this picture I just put up here because just want you to reflect on how amazing your job is, what an impact you have on people's lives. And I think sometimes we don't take the time to reflect on how amazing you actually are, on the changes that you make to people's lives. They probably don't realise how many changes have been made to their life through being able to swim and the experiences that they can now have. And without them learning to swim, people who are injured, ill, long-term health conditions might not be able to stay fit and healthy. It is life-changing teaching people to swim. You have an amazing, amazing job. And just when you're getting mad on poolside sometimes, because we all do, we all have that young person that we think, I've just told you we're going on our fronts, why have you set off on your back? That person that annoys you, just take a moment to reflect on the positive impact that you're having. So today we're going to be looking at how to deliver and support an effective water safety programme. So Jen mentioned that sometimes we don't have opportunity to reflect on water safety, but water safety should be in every aspect of every single thing that you deliver. And when we look at core aquatic skills today, we'll reflect on how water safety fits into every single element. So today we're going to be looking at drowning and the drowning process, reasons why people drown. We're going to link core aquatic skills to water safety development. We're going to talk about the family sessions and why they're important. We're going to look at the national curriculum and how they link with the family sessions and how the family sessions can support with that national curriculum. I'm going to share water safety information in an appropriate manner. So we're going to do that in pool session through a game-led activity rather than just talking at people with water safety rules. And we'll do fun, engaged theme sessions. So you as a leader obviously have a duty of care. And within water safety lessons, sometimes the risk can be higher because you can be doing scenarios like falling entries, role plays, things like that. So as a facilitator, as a leader of sessions, you should be making sure that you're always dynamically risk assessing whatever activities you're doing. So I'm going to look at the importance of swimming. So some of you might have seen this already, and I'm going to very quickly go through because this does link in with water safety. Swimming, like what I said in the introduction, is so, so important. It is a life skill. It is a life-saving skill, as well as all these other benefits, like physical benefits of your body being healthy, stronger, more balance, more coordination, developing new skills, developing communication skills, being aware of others in an aquatic environment, being able to do lifelong activities like stand-up paddleboarding, going on holiday like what Jen's done and done a big swim. All these life experiences all equate to the value of swimming. Just take a moment to reflect on you. You're in your job because you learned to swim. You might not be an Olympian, you might not be an amazing swimmer, but think of your opportunities that you've had in your life. Think about when little Johnny walks on poolside tomorrow, what opportunities as a swimming teacher you are giving that young person. And I think give yourself sort of a little bit of an air pat on the back for how amazing you're doing at changing that person's life. So swimming makes us healthier, and it has that huge saving for the NHS. Massive health saving. But just think about each pound that's saved on the NHS. That's somebody's life being a better quality. It's not about the money, is it? It's about everybody's life being better quality. And by people learning to swim and being water competent, and we'll cover water competent, they are far less likely to drown because they have the knowledge, skills, and experience to save themselves if they do fall into water. So just 2 minutes, list as many benefits as you can think of for a young person, a child that would be coming to your sessions, either school swimming, water safety lessons, or your family sessions. Just 2 minutes to think of those benefits for that individual child.
So I'm trying to get one that I don't think many will have.
Oh, it's up to you. You can pick your best one if you want.
It's not like categories.
No, just go for one.
I'll just put the social skill collaborating with the child or with a group of children.
So social skills, collaboration with other people, definitely, yeah. And next to Paul?
Mental health.
Yeah, improving your mental health. Exercise, and particularly swimming, is great for mental health, yeah.
We kind of work together.
Yeah.
We said positive for like future opportunities.
Brilliant. Positive future opportunities like job opportunities and experiences, yeah. Any more?
Fitness.
Fitness, yeah, great for cardiovascular, for respiratory fitness, for muscle, for bones, everything, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Donnie.
No, it's okay. Improve confidence.
Improve, yeah, definitely. People who do swimming are quite often more confident, they're more body confident, they're more confident because they're going out, going to different situations, definitely. So you're a pair, are you?
To have fun.
Like it, yeah. That's why children go swimming, isn't it? To have fun. They don't go because they've been dragged. They go because they've had fun, or hopefully that's why they go in. Some of them do go because they've been dragged, don't they? You will learn to swim, but some of them are asking, can they go because they've had fun, definitely.
To like learn discipline and to like keep trying at things until you get better.
Yeah, that sort of, to learn to keep going, to have that in you, to do something that you can't necessarily do before, but you're learning something new, aren't you? This table, are you a 2 or a 1?
I just thought like personal achievement. If they've got low self-confidence, they achieve a mushrooms, like we praise them.
Brilliant. Yeah, they can see that they've done something, can't they? Any more? Games, yeah, they're learning new games, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll just put pathway to the aquatic activities.
Brilliant.
Like polo and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Other disciplines, yeah. So other opportunities in the pool and out the pool on open water as well. Any more? Like it. There are brain scans that show that an active child is more productive at school. Their brains are firing more when they've been doing more, so definitely they'll learn better. You quite often find that swimmers are more academic, and that is because the brain is firing more because they're moving more. It's scientifically proven that if you do that for a minute, this is why we stretch sometimes, it wakes us up, doesn't it? Gets the blood flow going to our brain. Any more? Independence, yeah, because they're moving away and travelling, aren't they, from an adult? They might be being held to begin with and then getting that independence. Brilliant. Yeah. Because one of my best friends is a swimmer. It's who I went swimming with, definitely. Yeah. Any more? Has she been? Go on. We've done amazing there to get through all those. Right. Shout out, please, the 3 areas required for the national curriculum for school swimming and water safety. What are the 3 areas? 25 metres. So they have to be able to swim 25 metres competently, confidently, and proficiently. 25 metres confidently, competently, and proficiently. That's number 1. Number 2.
Personal survival.
Yeah, so self-rescue, safe self-rescue. So the safe self-rescue must be in different water-based situations so that you're doing role play scenarios. What happened if you fell in the canal? What happened if? So that's your safe self-rescue. And what's the other one? So we've done 25 metres, we've done safe self-rescue. What's the other national curriculum expectation? That fits within your safe self-rescue, but it is one. Give you a bit of a clue. Recognise strokes to include front crawl, backstroke and breaststroke. So they're your 3 national curriculum expectations. When you're teaching water safety, you're linking in with all 3 of those national curriculum expectations, because by them learning to travel, they're increasing the distance that they're able to swim, which is working towards 25 metres. By them using a range of strokes, they're selecting the stroke that's most appropriate for the intended outcome. So, for example, treading water could potentially be a range of strokes because they're doing breaststroke leg kick. So they're selecting a stroke that's appropriate for the scenario that they're currently in. And then safe self-rescue includes help, huddle, falling entry, treading water, signalling for help, floating, survival strokes. So everything that you're covering in the national curriculum expectations is working towards water safety and that water competence. So this is what a young person should be able to do before they leave primary school in year 6. So of those 3 requirements, 25 metres, range of stroke and safe self-rescue, which is the most important? Safe self-rescue, because it can save a life. It is the most important outcome. The safe self-rescue in different water-based situations is the most important outcome. But these are the outcomes that children should be able to do. So within your water safety sessions, your family sessions, they might not be at the stage to do all of these outcomes, but each outcome that we look at, they can do progressive practices that work towards them being able to do that outcome by the time they're leaving primary school in year 6. So outcome 1 is to do a falling entry. So they might not be able to do that, but they might be able to stand in the water and lean to the side and put the face in the water. So they're still experiencing that feeling of getting the face going in the water. So you're doing little progressions towards that outcome. So float on the back with minimal movement for 60 seconds. They might not be able to do that for a minute without equipment, but they might be able to do 10 seconds with a noodle. They might be able to do 5 seconds with adult holding the hands. So those little progressions towards. Then they need to be able to go from a floating position up into a treading water position. So it's a rotation movement up into a treading water position. And they tread water, they signal for help once and they bring the hand back down again. So when we're in the pool, we will look at treading water action and what practices you can do that lead up to them. They're not necessarily going to go in deep water straight away and tread water, are they? But they might do some activities where they feel the water with their hands, see if they can create a whirlpool. So that treading water practice is really important. The practicing signalling for help is an easy one. They can do that at any time. They can do that practicing stood up in shallow water. They can do it on land practicing. They can do it whilst they're treading water. Swimming to flotation equipment, so swimming 15 metres to a piece of flotation equipment. That's the practicing of learning to swim. A front paddle, back paddle, they might do side stroke. So looking at what survival strokes are best to do, letting them choose the stroke for the intended outcome. Retaining the floating objects and going into the heat escape lessening position. They can practice that from very young, even before they can swim. If they've got sufficient flotation equipment, they can practice that heat escape lessening position. Then the forming a huddle position is great for family sessions, because in school lessons, sometimes to get children to form a huddle, it can take you about 10 minutes to get them organised. You've got one going in that direction, one going in that. But if you've got adults in the pool to help you, right, adults, bring your child with you. We're going to stand in a circle. It's so much easier. And then swimming to exit the pool as well. So that safe self-rescue circuit, please familiarise yourself with that and think about how you can build up to each of those outcomes. Might be 10 or 15 progressions that you teach before the end outcome. So safe self-rescue skills improve our national curriculum attainment. They reduce the probability of somebody having a fatal drowning if they fall into water. But we need to have lots of people on board with teaching this information. So some of you went to the launch, didn't you? The water safety program launch, and Joe Talbot from the RLSS spoke about parents teaching children how to cross the road. They teach them road safety. They teach we stop here. They teach we look both ways. But yet most parents, probably particularly in this area of the country, who don't swim very often, might not have the knowledge themselves to teach their child. So in these family sessions, you're teaching the adult to teach the child that key water safety information. So early family engagement is key, working with nurseries, schools, community groups, providing good quality teaching, and engaging activities like this programme, local and national stakeholder and partner support like the RLSS, the Canal and River Trust, Active Black Country, working with leisure operators, working with swimming teachers. Think about how many people are involved in this project. And then using resources on the pool for pool activity and dry side activity. Give us a show of hands if you're a member of the Swim England Charter, School Swimming and Water Safety Charter. Anybody signed up for it? If you're not, sign up for it. It is free, and the resources on there are there are inclusive resources like the Foundation Awards, which work towards outcomes for young people with special educational needs and disabilities. So if you're not already a member, sign up. It'll take you 2 minutes and you can have a look at all those resources. And training and development is important, like today. So today we're going to look at the core aquatic skills and how they link in teaching water safety messaging. What are the three percentages that they have to report for the PE and sports premium are 25 metres, which head teachers very quickly can look at. Parents look at it because, like we say, Paul, it's measurable, it's easy to see, but they should also be reporting ranger strokes and safe self-rescue. So in this area of the country particularly, a lot of work has gone on, hasn't it, Jen, with getting head teachers to be aware of safe self-rescue, what those outcomes are. The clarification statement on what safe self-rescue is was released jointly with Swim England and the STA. So it is gradually filtering through to schools. But as with everything, things take a number of years. So the Department for Education and the Association for PE both recommended that safe self-rescue off the back of COVID should be the number one priority, because children who weren't able to do 25 metres potentially could have still been working on treading water, star floats, resurfacing, all those skills that relate to safe self-rescue. So it is gradually getting through that messaging. But the 25 metres, when we look at water competence, 25 metres doesn't mean that somebody's competent anyway. It's just a very easy measure that is used as a way of reporting a child's ability to be able to swim. So we'll look at core aquatic skills and how they link to water safety knowledge, safe self-rescue outcomes. So on your tables, you've got 30 seconds between you on your tables, all of you together, to think what are the core aquatic skills. 30 seconds to get them on your tables. This table versus this table. Go. Right. We'll stop there. You've had your 30 seconds. So each table gets a point for each one that you get correct, including the correct wording, because they are categorised as headings. So if you get the wording correct, entries, exits, you've got to get in and you've got to get out. That's a core aquatic skill. In terms of these family engagement sessions, entries and exits, you've got two people to think about. Has any of you delivered any of the family sessions where the adult has been unbalanced and not familiar with the pool environment? Yeah. So then your risk goes up because you've got an unsteady, unstable adult supporting potentially a child who's never been in the pool before. So you as professionals, as swimming teachers or school teachers or whatever professional role you are, you must do a dynamic risk assessment on that adult, because that adult can create a greater risk. So you can tell, can't you, by the way they get in, that tentativeness, that unbalancedness on the first couple of steps, that first step away. So check the adults balance before you let them be supporting a child. Don't let them get in together and an unbalanced adult then be leaning on a child. Okay, so entries is very important for this session. Exits. Again, you've got two people exiting, so it may be that the children are told when they exit that they put their hand on a wall or that they sit on a bench while their grown-up gets out. Some adults may take significantly longer to get out than what the children do. The children might be whoop out, and then the adult might have to go to the steps and use the steps. So think about that kind of control measures that you've got in place for that. Travel and coordination. Did anybody get that exact wording? So you'll have all got some sort of movement or strokes. I heard blacked being talked about. So travel and coordination, it's movement in a coordinated way. Have we all seen what I describe as a drunken spider? Have we all seen that person that's like that? They clearly haven't got coordination yet in the pool. And it's that core strength and it's that balance that you need to work on. To build travel and coordination, it's slow movements to begin with, potentially near the side, like Spider-Man type activities, walking with the hand on the side, walking away from the side, hands in the water, just getting used to that movement. Buoyancy and balance, anybody get that wording? So I heard floating being discussed. Balance, buoyancy and balance, being up in the water. Streamlining, pushing and gliding, streamlining. Rotation and orientation. So this one and this one are key to water safety. If somebody can't float and they fall in, they can't float to survive. They do not have buoyancy and balance, they cannot perform float to survive, can they? If they cannot do rotation and orientation and they fall in somewhere, they can't reorientate back to the surface of the water, so they cannot perform safe self-rescue. So when you look at your core aquatic skills, it's lots and lots of safe self-rescue going through. Streamlining is lovely for speed of being able to be in a good body position, but streamlining isn't as important as being able to float. Somebody with really poor streamlining though, are they going to have a good survival stroke or are they going to struggle? Yeah. If they're wearing clothing and they've got low legs in the water. We had breathing, didn't we, on this table? Aquatic breathing. Again, that's a water survival process. If somebody can't blow out into the water, there's a lady at the pool where I used to work. I worked there for years and years, and she used to get in and do 100 lengths every day. Every day she got in and did 100 lengths. And I used to watch her and think, oh, you must have such a sore neck. She used to do head up breaststrokes for the full 100 lengths. And if anybody went anywhere near her, she'd give them a right dirty look, got her hair wet. She, even though she could do 100 lengths, could not perform safe self-rescue, because if her face would have gone in the water, she would have had absolute panic. She could not stand the water going anywhere near her face. So it's not the distance that somebody can swim that's important, it's that confidence of being able to breathe out in the water, do that aquatic breathing. Then water safety is a whole topic in itself, but all those other core aquatic skills link to water safety. Every lesson that you teach, every single swimming lesson, if you teach rotating from your front to your back, remind the people, oh, that's what we'd do if we needed to rest on our back in an emergency. That rotation from front to back into a star float is a water safety skill. And then health and well-being. So some people used to call it health and fitness, health and well-being. We talked about the other activities that they can do, the onward participation opportunities. If somebody hasn't got core aquatic skills, they can't continue to swim. So I'm going to split the tables in half, and each half a table you'll be given a core aquatic skill. And I'd like you to think of as many activities as you can in 3 minutes for that core aquatic skill that would be suitable for delivering in a family session. This group then, the water safety group, what activities did you think you could teach for water safety?
So showing the signal for landing rescue.
Yeah, so shout and signal, land-based rescues.
Entries, so practicing like getting into the pool and holding onto the side.
Yeah.
Floating.
Yeah, different entries in a safe manner.
beach rescues, but also what you could use for outside. So you wouldn't have a torpedo or a beach ball.
Yeah, so it's like an environmental assessment of what things in the real world could be used as a rescue. So what does the wording of the water safety code say if somebody else is in danger, we do 999, but we look for something that what floats. We look for something that floats to throw. So for very young children, if they perform reach rescues, then they may potentially, especially if it's in moving water, like a river or current, they might not have the capacity to reach somebody with them not getting pulled in as well, even if you're teaching them to lie down and hold on. So throwing is safer than reaching, particularly in moving water. So ideas like what might be about is really good. An environmental assessment of what's about. Yeah, definitely. Any more?
Floating, certainly starboard, and also like what was to call.
Yeah, so definitely floating. How are you getting the emergency services? Role playing the emergency services is a good one to do. And for family sessions, that's great because parent can pretend to be the operator and child can ring in. So that's a really good activity to do in your family sessions. So breathing. Well nominated.
Talking, just having conversations as they get used to it. Bubbles, submerging, blowing bubbles through the nose.
Brilliant. Humming's a good one, isn't it? That makes it come through the nose. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah. Breathing practices are great. Children, quite a big percentage of children, once they've got comfortable at going under the water, that is all they want to do, isn't it? A lot of children might regulate by going under the water and breathe and relax. Whereas if you give them a structured game so that they're not going under freely, but they're going under maybe as a seesaw, then you know that they're getting adequate surface time then, that they're not then going to be getting dizzy or hyperventilating, things like that, that you're then practicing rhythmical breathing. So it might be that they do mirrors and pull a silly face under the water at somebody, but then they come up after they've done that.
Motion, blow and wave to each other.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Any more? I've got all yours.
Blowing object.
Yeah, egg flip,
Yeah.
old-fashioned egg flip or a duck or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, blowing objects across.
I mean, play like captain's game and of treasure and things like that going down, and then tend to do it then.
Yeah, and that's nice as a warm-up as well, that one, when they've gone under. Yeah. Yeah, so going for treasure, that's all aquatic breathing. So there's hundreds of activities that you could do for aquatic breathing. So this half of the table, rotation and orientation, what ideas did we get?
We looked at starting with individual stuff, so log rolling, pushing and gliding, front to back, back to front, vertical twisting and turning, passing an object on, so you're moving it along, so
Yeah.
a little relay. Then we talked about putting sequences together individually, that might be done to music, and then we looked at maybe some synchro involving the family working together
Nice.
to create a sequence. And then adding in equipment, floating equipment to that, so that they're moving that along from one to another. They're working together to hold the same thing while performing the movements.
Brilliant. I like the way that you're linking other disciplines. Families getting together to create their own little routine is really good, and that could have a bit of water safety within that routine, some aquatic breathing because they might have submerged at some point, rotation and orientation, working together. A little artistic swimming routine of 4 or 5 movements is a really good way to do it. And it challenges the adults as well because they've got to remember the order as well. So that even if they can't swim, the adults, they're involved with the lesson because they're reminding their child of what the next movement is and they're helping. So that it works really well. Using a spoon's good for timing. You ever tapped a spoon on the steps? So if you tap a spoon on the metal steps, then they can hear that under the water as well. So then they all keep to time then. Well, not all, that's exaggerating, but you've got a bit more chance. This squeep, what was yours? Sorry, I've forgotten. Buoyancy and balance.
But just travelling around first, like walking, jumping, running, hopping, maybe put them in like a noodle train. Make it a little bit more
Nice.
fun rather than just being like over a walk across. We've got star floats and mushroom floats. Middle position, out position, regaining feet, treading water.
Brilliant.
Keep them on top of it.
Brilliant.
Obviously, that can be done with support or without
With that.
support as you progress.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, going from noodles, disc, whatever, to without.
Yeah.
The regaining feet one is a huge one for balance in the water. How many people, give us a show of hands, how many people have seen somebody in shallow water lose their footing and go face down? Most of you. Quite often the cause of that is because they have no concept of what to do if they do fall forwards. So if I fell now, what would I do naturally? What's my instinct? I'd put my hands out one time. I might panic if I was in water. So if I fell now, I'd go to put my hands down to protect my face. If I go to put my hands down in the pool, what happens to me? I go further down. I become like a jellyfish float, don't I then? As I put my hands down, my legs come up higher, my head goes down lower, and I end up like that. So just by reinforcing, what are the teaching points for regaining feet? Bend your knees, head up, scoop with your hands. So if somebody knows that before they get into the pool, so some of the dry side activities that we filmed, there's actually a video of me doing a burpees very ungracefully. But that process of doing a burpees is the same kind of process as regaining feet in the water. So reinforcing that information to the adults before they get in, then the children have seen them regaining feet, then they get in on those family sessions.
If you teach adults, a lot of the problem is they can't stand up.
They can't stand
The
up.
children
Yeah,
find it easier
they
than
do, than the adults.
really struggle.
And the higher the percentage of body fat somebody has, the harder it is for them to stand up because they are naturally more buoyant. So sometimes for those people who really do struggle to stand up, whether it's because they've got hip replacements, knee replacements, medical conditions, a disability, it may be that they aren't able to stand up, and a rotation might be more suitable for them to go into a resting position. And it's dynamically risk assessing each person that's in the pool. So these are some examples of core aquatic skills and what you might do. For each core aquatic skill, so this will be sent out with you so you can have another nosy at it after. For each core aquatic skill, we need to be thinking of ways to teach it in a fun manner. It needs to be fun, yeah, not just we're going to do water safety today. It needs to be fun, maybe have some races, some engagement. So next we're going to look at drowning, we're going to move on to drowning. So rather than writing it down, just shout out any ideas of what you think might cause an incident where somebody has a fatal drowning. What sort of things might have caused that? Any cold water shock, definitely. Somebody not unaware that the water's cold or not aware of the consequences of cold water. Definitely cold water's a big one. Injury. It could even be as something as cramp or any type of injury. Yeah, anything else? Pardon? A current, yeah. So they're unaware of the movement of the water, or they've underestimated the type of water.
Yeah.
Depth.
Knowledge, basically.
Lack of knowledge, yeah. And that would cover depth as well, lack of knowledge, wouldn't it? Because they've not assessed the situation. Has anybody ever seen somebody come to a public swimming session and get in at the deep end or get in deeper water and not realise that they can't stand up? The pool that I used to work at, the changing rooms used to come out in the middle. And the amount of people that used to get in where they couldn't stand up, even though there was signage right in front of them. So it's that kind of lack of knowledge, that kind of lack of assessing the situation. What about children? What do you think might cause fatal drowning in children? Falls into paddling pools and things like that.
Being overly confident. Yeah.
Definitely. Who's asked a group of children who can swim and they all put their hand up? Yeah. And there's probably one that can, if that. Yeah. That overconfidence, that overestimating their abilities.
And just because the friend can swim a little bit,
They think they can. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, until they go in and face plant. Yeah.
Parents are the same. We had a school where one parent said their kid could swim 25 metres and couldn't swim at all.
Mm.
And he drowned and we had to get in for him. But the parents also, you want your kid to be better than they are, don't you? And
Yeah.
you want to boost them. And I
Yeah.
think, but of course,
Yeah. Sometimes it's two things. It's that like competitive parent, isn't it? Or it's them not understanding even what swimming is themselves.
Yeah.
That they might tick a box on a form and not really get it. Children who aren't being supervised is a big one. So here's some examples. So education and knowledge, lack of adult supervision, making a poor decision. So they might have had that education and know they shouldn't get in, but they still do anyway. Risk taking. Who are your risk takers? Teenagers. Which gender generally? Boys. So the drownings in boys is significantly higher than girls. So it's that poor decision making. Bystander rescue is quite a big one. When somebody goes to help somebody else who's in difficulty, and you end up with a conveyor belt of people going in to help each other. Quite often after dogs is a big one. So it's not always going in to rescue a person. Sometimes it's going in to rescue a dog or another animal. The lack of physical literacy, so they're not able to balance, they're not able to regain their feet. So drowning in shallow water, for example, because they can't stand up. Environmental factors. So it might be currents, it might be movement of water, it might be weather changing, unexpected change of the weather, tides, not following the water safety code or signage or advice or beach flags. So, for example, swimming in an area when there's lifeguard flags there and they go on the other side of the lifeguard flags. Lack of water competence, swimming alone, not having the right equipment. So maybe they're not wearing a wetsuit when it's cold, or them not having the phone with them when they're going away from shore, and alcohol and drug use. So this is a horrible graph to look at, but this is showing the increase in the number of child drownings. So over the past 4 years, it's steadily going up. This is not a good graph to look at, is it?
Is that in any way related to the pandemic and COVID?
Potentially, and potentially that people have started to swim in different environments. Obviously children didn't have swimming lessons for a sustained period of time. A lot of pools lessons wasn't available for 2 full years, really, was it? So that is not a good graph. So projects like this one is to reverse that, okay? And hopefully when the next lot of data comes out, it won't continue to go up. So of those that drowned, 43% were under 5 years of age, 16% were 5 to 12 years, and then it shoots back up again as they get to that risk-taking years of 13 to 17. So you've got high risk here, which is parental responsibility. That why has that happened? Was the parent not watching them or an adult not supervising? This is the age when they start to do things on their own, isn't it? That's the age when they're making their own decisions. So has anybody seen this, what the RLSS has just released, this campaign? It is an amazing campaign, and it's a lot about safety at home and how adults can support their child at home to keep them safe in the bath. Like tips like make sure your towel's ready, all that kind of stuff. So if you have a look on the RLSS website at this safety splash at your pad, that's really good messaging that you can share with your families at these sessions. So the number of drownings in England has doubled over the last 4 years. The RLSS are working on strategies. At least 1 child a month drowned at home, and 2 out of 3 of those drownings at home were in the bath. So that's generally them being left unsupervised. Twice as many boys as girls drowned, and 86% of child drownings occurred when the child was unsupervised. So these family sessions are key to, we don't want to frighten parents, but we want to let them know that supervision around water is key, and that water safety code messaging is important. 51 children have drowned in inland waters, such as rivers, lakes and canals in the last 4 years. So what tends to happen is that some families think, well, we don't go swimming, we don't go to the coast, it's not a priority for us. But everybody lives somewhere near water. Think of the bodies of water that are near you. I live near 2 parks that have both got lake in. I live near a canal. I am within walking distance of 3 bodies of water. Think about you as an individual, how many bodies of water you could walk to within walking distance of your house. Increase in temperature is a big increase in risk as well, because people take those risks to go in to cool off, and then they've got a very warm body temperature going into very cool water. Somebody with a special educational need is significantly at higher risk of drowning than their peers. Research has shown that a child with autism spectrum disorder is 3 times more likely to drown than their peers. 3 times more. That may be because of wandering, that may be because of not understanding the risk. So that reinforcement of teaching children with special educational needs that water safety knowledge is really important. There are instances where schools struggle to get adequate provision to support that young person on school swimming lessons, and then they may not attend as many as they should, or they've not got that one-to-one provision. Cold water shock. So we mentioned cold water. If somebody goes into cold water, have you all stood under a shower when it's been colder than you've expected, haven't you? And you go, so if you do a big gasp, what happens to that water? Goes down into your lungs. Only takes 1 or 2 big gasps at the volume of a can of Coke, and that's it, the drowning process is commenced. So the teaching point for stopping cold water shock is get on your back in a star float with your mouth clear of the water as quickly as possible. And that might be that they're using some sort of sculling action. They might not have to stay perfectly still. Some people do struggle to do a perfect star float. The legs go down a bit, so they may have to do some limited movement. But the priority is to get on the back with the nose and mouth clear of the water as quickly as possible, even if they're quite near the side, because it would only take a couple of arm pulls for them to have done 2 big gasps, and then it's too late then. So how long should they be doing a star float for before they reassess the situation?
60 to 90 seconds.
Amazing. 60 to 90 seconds, spot on. 60 to 90 seconds on average is how long it takes somebody's respiratory rate to slow down a little bit, for the heart rate to slow down, and for them to start to get used to floating. After that 60 to 90 seconds, they evaluate the situation of, is it safe for me to swim to the side? Do I signal for help because I can't get back to the side? Do I then continue to float? So they reevaluate the situation after that 60 to 90 seconds. Swim failure is different to cold water shock. It's brought on by cold water, but it's not the immediate reaction. So that might be somebody who's doing an activity in open water. Maybe they've intended to go for a swim in open water, but as time has gone on, their muscles have started to cool down, their stroke deteriorates, their coordination deteriorates. So they might have been an amazing swimmer normally in a pool, but after sort of 10 minutes in open water, their stroke has deteriorated to the point that they can't then return. So it's teaching points of awareness of that they should be swimming for shorter periods of time, always swimming with other people, always following the water safety code, knowing to rotate onto the back if they do get into difficulty. If you take anything away from today, it is this poster, the water safety code poster. It's free to download off the internet. Please have a copy of it so that you can show people who you're working with. This activity pack, so those of you coordinators at site, if you haven't already got this, it's a pack that has got loads of water safety games within that pack. Okay, so that is a really good thing to have. These question cards are great as well to have if you're not sure of what questions to ask people. When we go into the pool today, we'll look at how to do the questions rather than lecturing at somebody and talking to them. It's good to do the cards as the questions as an activity. So we're just going to cover water competence. So this is what Swim England have determined is what we recommend as being water competent. These are the skills that we would like somebody to have. And this is more than national curriculum expectations. This is more than what a child does leaving school in year 6. So they should be able to float to live. So 60 to 90 seconds floating to live. They should be able to tread water for 30 seconds. They should be able to swim in clothing, and they should be able to swim 100 metres. So that 100 metres is significantly more than the 25 for national curriculum. What percentage of children do you think are deemed as competent? Have a guess, shout a number.
At what age?
At sort of
20.
a child, yeah, so like secondary school.
16.
20% is it?
So 7 to 11-year-olds are only 4% of competent swimmers. Okay, so in the pool, we will be covering how to manage the family sessions, but thinking about that water competence, think about your school swimming lessons and who is actually competent and how that information can get to your families. A lot of parents think, oh, my child's passed national curriculum, they're safe. They'll let them get in the pool on holidays. They'll lie on the sun lounge reading the paper or the phone nowadays. Nobody reads paper now, do they? And their child's in the pool unaccompanied. So that water safety code poster is for the parents as well as the children to go together to always stay within arm's reach. So we will do a water safety code activity in the pool of how to teach that water safety code more to the adults than the children, really, so that they're reinforcing that message. Okay, everyone, we're going to head over the pool now to do some practical activities to think about what we've just covered in the theory session, looking at how we can deliver water safety activity in a fun, engaging manner for both family sessions and for school swimming and water safety programmes. Okay, so the first activity that we're going to do today in the pool is looking at how to do an initial assessment for both the adults and the children participating in a family swimming water safety session. Quite often an adult might not have been swimming for a long period of time, or they may never have been swimming before, and that adult may be balanced and not orientated in the water. So ensuring that the adult is confident and balanced is really important before that adult is supporting their young person. So as a swimming teacher, you would be identifying what depth it is, letting them know whether or not they'd be able to stand, where they'd be able to stand in the pool. Thinking about this pool design here, if you've got adult and child pairs and you've never seen the adults in the water, it would be adults first and then children. But you would have to give the children a clearly defined waiting area, particularly if they're younger, and it may be that they have to put their hand on a tile. So they have to stand touching the tile while their grown-up gets in. In terms of entry into this pool, there's no wide, easy steps for them to walk down. So it's your general teaching points for your ladder steps. Teach the adults as well as the children. Give them your normal teaching points of holding the rail, turning on, feeling with your feet, walking down the steps, placing your feet firmly on the floor. Give them the teaching point of where they are going to go once they've got into the water. So with a partner, and people who aren't in the water, you can be the swimming teacher. One of you will be a swimming teacher. One of you will be an adult, and you will have an imaginary child who you will tell to wait at the wall. So in your pair, swimming teachers, you're going to give the teaching points for safe entry for the adults, and you're going to give the teaching point for the child of where to wait. You're also going to tell the adult where they need to wait for the imaginary child to get in. So remember, swimming teachers, if the adult is unsteady, make sure they're at the side before you get the child in. The next activity that we're going to look at is how to regain feet. For those adults, again, that might not have been in the pool for a long period of time or who may not be balanced in the water, we're going to look at the teaching points of how that adult stands back up and comes into a vertical position in the water if they were to lose their footing or balance. So the activity that we're going to do is just holding onto the pool side, thinking about those teaching points of bending the knees, lifting the head and pulling back with the hands to firmly place the feet onto the floor and to stand back up again. Everybody in the water, you are all an adult. Can every adult please hold the side? We're going to imagine that the children are at the wall, doing as they've been told. Right, adults, before we get the children in, just going to check that you're all able to stand up. So we're going to put 2 hands on the blue tiles, chin in the water, get your shoulders wet. Lift your legs up, hold on to the side. Let your legs just lift, keep hold. When I say stand, you're going to bend your knees and stand up for me. Ready? Stand. Excellent. Well done. And again, lie down again. Ready, stand. Excellent. So at this point now, I have now done a dynamic risk assessment of which adults are higher risk. If everybody is able to gain feet, we would then get the children in. Right, children, you're going to walk forward, sit on the edge in front of your grown-up. You're going to put 2 hands to one side, turn and slide in. Grown-ups, you're going to take 1 step back near your child. The children would now be in. We know the adults are balanced. If the adults weren't balanced, you do a couple of minutes of them moving, holding the side, getting used to walking in the water. We need balanced adults before we let the children get into the water. We're going to now cover a water safety warm-up game, and we're going to pretend that captain's calling. We're going to do some movement in the pool. The purpose of this warm-up game is to get the children used to moving in the water with their supporting adult moving alongside them. The activities are travelling to port, travelling to starboard, climbing the rigging, blowing bubbles while they're looking for treasure under the water, and responding to the call of aye aye captain. This activity covers lots of water safety information because the children are travelling in the water in a manner that they may have to do in an emergency situation. They're utilising rotation skills to change direction. They're also submerging and resurfacing. So these are all skills that relate to water safety, which a young person may need to use in the event of an emergency situation. Okay, I'm going to do a warm-up game. So get yourself a partner. One is an adult, one is a child. One is an adult, one is a child. In your pairs, we are going to do a warm-up game. So when I teach the family session, I use 2 voices. I use the adult voice and the child voice. The adult voice is a little bit more sharper, direct, more detailed teaching points. The child voice is a little bit more fun. Yay! Okay, so you got your 2 voices. Right, everybody, what we're going to do, what voice am I using? Child. What we're going to do is we're going to do a warm-up game. Grown-ups, hear the difference of voice? Can you stay within arm's reach of your child so the grown-up knows what they should be doing? You're all going to copy me. What are you going to do? Amazing listening. Well done, everyone. We're going to play Captain's Calling. Are we ready? Copy me. We are going to walk to port. Everybody walk to port. Excellent. You can use your hands if you want to. Walk to starboard. And stop. Captain's coming. Say, aye, aye, Captain. Now a little bit faster now. So I've done a dynamic risk assessment. Everybody is balanced. We're going faster to port. Scoot with your hands. To starboard. Captain's coming. Climb the rigging. So I've done another dynamic risk assessment. You're all balanced. So you're now jumping a bit more. Adults, make sure your child is in a space, please. We are now, you don't have to do it if you want. We are now going to look for treasure. Put your face under and look for treasure. Brilliant, looking for treasure. And stop. We're going to do those movements again. People on the side as well can join in with this. When you're doing the movement, you're going to shout which core aquatic skill it is. So for each of the activities, I want you to shout what core aquatic skill it is. We're going to port, move to port. What's this? Travel and orientation. Move to starboard. Travel and coordination. Captain's coming. What's this? Balance, because you're lifting. Amazing. Because you're lifting your arm, you're throwing yourself off balance. Well done. Most people don't get that one. Well done. That's balance. Now, I would like you to look for treasure. What's this one? Aquatic breathing. Well done. Now, there is one that we've done that no, I didn't hear anyone say. Just going to very quickly go through it again. Think about when we're up there, what we do. Rotation. Oh, did you say it? Oh, well done. Rotation. Oh. So in that warm-up, you've done travel and orientation, rotation, aquatic breathing, balance. We haven't done it much in the way of buoyancy, but you have got some buoyancy because you're in the water. The water's lifting you up. We've done health because we're getting used to being in the water. So we're doing health and well-being. We've done water safety because we've done aquatic breathing coming back up. We've done rotation. We've done a change of direction for an emergency situation. We've also got in the water. So the only core aquatic skill up to now that we haven't covered is getting out. Yeah. So just in one game, you have covered lots and lots. So we've got some flags. You'll be moving anywhere you like around the pool. Travel. Yeah. Anywhere you like around the pool. When you see a flag, you're going to do the correct action. If you see a windsock, you're going to pretend it's windy and get blown away. What's that flag? Hardcraft. So like surfing, kayaking. So you're going to pretend to surf. What's that one? Lifeguard flag. So ideally you should have 2 lifeguard flags in your pool hall that people can come between. If not, they can pretend to be a lifeguard watching the pool. And what's that one? Danger. Do not swim. So you're going to show me your best danger face. All right. So we can start moving anywhere we like around the pool. When the flag is flown, you might have to shout as well. Do the correct action. Ready? Off we go. Start moving around the pool anywhere you like. And move again, move again. And move, keep traveling. And move and travel again. Okay, and stop. So we all get the idea of that game. You can mix it up. You can do it different ways. You can get them to travel different ways. If they are nervous, what could you be doing? If they're nervous and it's the first time and they're all over the place, amazing. Keep them round the side, but they can still do the game. If they're more confident, what could they be doing? Swimming. And then they could be doing something anywhere in between, using flotation equipment, being a bit more boisterous with the movements. Whatever is right for that individual, for their progression. Should everybody in the group be doing the same thing? They should all be working at a level that is appropriate for them. So once you get to know people's names, challenge them. Can you now, while we're doing that traveling, reach with your hands? Can you now lift your legs and kick your legs? Do what is appropriate for them. This game, we're working in a small group to look at how manual support can be provided to children by the adult in a family session. Ensuring the safety of both the adult and the child is really important, and as swimming teachers, you can provide teaching points to the adult to ensure that they know where the safe places are to support their young person in the water. This game is a true or false activity game where the adults, along with their young person, will go and find either pictures or word cards which are looking at areas of the body or equipment. They then return that piece of paper, that laminated card, either to a true or false activity station. Examples of true answers where you can provide manual support are head, hands, shoulders and equipment. False answers, incorrect answers that were given were feet neck and tummy. So this activity ensures that parents are confident at how to support their young person in the water while still allowing that young person to experience the impact and effects of buoyancy on their body. We're going to teach the adults how to help the children. So when we do manual support, where can we hold on the person that we're supporting? Where can we hold hands, head, shoulders, equipment. So they're where you should be holding. So you can do demonstrations either with a doll or you can use somebody in the water to show demonstrations. But a really good way of reinforcing that is to get the adults to do true or false. Okay, so I'm going to put these in here on a float. You have to identify whether it's true or false as to whether or not you can hold that area of the body. So let them float away. So to get the adults to kind of break the ice a little bit and not feel so stupid in the water, you actually get them to do silly things so that they're joining in more childlike. And then any adults that really do it, they're like, dead, yeah, brilliant. Because children learn through observing, don't they? And if they see their adults smiling and laughing at doing something silly in the pool, they'll want to copy. Whereas if they see their adult walking around dead serious, they think, well, it's swimming serious. So what I'd like you to do, in the most silly way you can, the most stupid way of moving in the water possible, I would like you to collect a float, read what is on the float, and then you're going to identify, is that true or false? Are you allowed to provide support using that part of the body? If it's true, you're going to put the float here. If it's false, you're going to put the float here. Okay? Do we all know what we're doing? The most stupid way you can to go and find a float. Off you go. Nice. Oh, I love those turns. So is it true or is it false? Oh, I'm liking some adults look like crabs. That's brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. So in the false one, we've got tummy, we've got feet. You quite often find adults grabbing feet. Why do we not grab feet? They can go backwards roll, and ankles as well. You shouldn't be manipulating feet because of ankles. And neck is also false. Obviously, breathing, not comfortable, strangulation risk, all that kind of stuff. So on the true answers, we have got hands, shoulders, head, and equipment. Well done, 100% correct, adults, well done. So that activity can be done with the adult and child together. And then the adult and child can then practice holding hands, holding head when they're on the back, holding equipment. So they can practice those skills together once they've done this game. If you've got an adult with English as additional language, how could you change this? Pictures. Dead simple, pictures instead of words. The next activity, you're going to work in small groups and you're going to think of a different warm-up game that covers water safety. So this group, do you know what you're doing? Developing a water safety warm-up game. Think of which core aquatic skills are being used within that game. Like aquatic breathing, rotations, floating, buoyancy and balance, yeah? So any game that covers all of those. and you're going to team teach that game to your peers in the water shortly.
Right then, Simon says, wash your faces. Simon says, get your hair wet. Simon says, let's move around the pool. Simon says, disappear. Oh, excellent. Simon says, can everyone walk like a crab round that side of the pool?
Here, you're going to use the same game that was used here, but you are going to use the step principle to amend it. Space, change the space, change the task, change the equipment, change the people. So you might be wearing equipment, you might have somebody helping somebody, you might do it with your feet off the floor because it's deeper. So think about how you can change that game that was just delivered. Right, everyone? This group is going to teach everybody else their game. So you're all going to join in this group's game. As swimming teachers, put your swimming teacher head on. Think what water safety knowledge you are learning from that game. Think how it could be made easier. Think how it could be made harder when you're doing the game. Right, this group, are you ready to teach? Who's delivering?
Great. Okay, everybody, are we ready? Now, we've been trying to work out what you did this morning to get to the swimming pool. Okay? So we're going to try and go from when you were asleep to when you got to the pool. Okay? And we're only guessing. We might be wrong, mightn't we, with some things. So we're going to guess, and we've got to be right with this one. We're going to guess that, first of all, you were asleep. So can you just lower in the water? And can you just put your head? Excellent. And if you want to snore, you can snore. No one snoring? Okay. Then suddenly, we guess your alarm went off or your mom or your dad shouted you. Fantastic. That's enough to wake us up, and you woke up and you were taken by surprise. So you went, whoa! You jumped up. Excellent. So what did you do then? Jumpy face. What did you do after you woke up? Where did you go? The toilet. Okay, we're going to have to go to the toilet then. Right, let's go to the toilet. Everybody march to the toilet. Turn yourself round. Sit on the toilet. Excellent. Gentlemen, we'll sit for this one. We sit on the toilet. Up we get. Flush the chain. Bigger stretch than that. Flush the chain. What does the water do when you flush the chain? Yeah, show me what the water does when you flush the chain. Lovely. Excellent. Now, we won't get you wiping your bottom or anything like that. Okay, so pull your pants up. Up you go. And off you go down for your breakfast. Okay, now, as we go down the stairs, we're going to get a little bit lower and a little bit lower. And we're going to turn the corner into the kitchen. And lovely dad or mom has left our bowl of cornflakes on the side. Okay? So there's your bowl of cornflakes in front of you. Yep. And with your bowl of cornflakes, you've got to eat them really fast. Okay? You ready? Come on, eat that bowl of cornflakes. Eat it really fast. Great stuff. And stop. Well done. Some of you are very messy eaters there. Got to say. Right, back up the stairs. So we start low and we get high this time. Back up we go. Turn round. And into our bedroom we go. Trousers on. Down we go. You can go under if you want. And pull those trousers up. Reach forward. Swap over our head. Excellent. Back down the stairs. Fast this time. Open the door. And we've got to go out and we've got to catch that bus because it goes in 10 seconds time. All right, so we're going to run around to catch that bus. Go. 10, 9, 8, 7. It's getting, we can see it coming. 6, 5. Drive the bus, drive the bus, drive the bus. Here's the bus driver. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, step up onto the bus. No seats, everybody. Big stretch up, hold on. Excellent. The bus has stopped. Off we get, step down. Whew, we've made it. Well done. Give yourselves a round of applause, everybody.
Next activity that we're looking at is the small group games that you've planned, the movement games that are covering water safety. We're going to utilise the STEP principle to adapt those games. So the STEP principle stands for space, how the space can be changed. Is the depth deeper or shallower? Are they near the wall or further away from the wall? Can the task be changed? Can it be made easier or harder? How can that task be made more challenging for individuals in the group? How can it be made easier for other individuals? Equipment. Which pieces of equipment can be used for the activity? Will that use of equipment make the activity easier or harder? Will that young person be better utilising flotation equipment or working without flotation equipment? And the final way to change the game is through people. You may have a level 1 assistant in the water. You may have an adult who's able to work with their young person. You may have a member of school staff who is able to provide support in the water. How can you use people to support or make the activity harder? Quite often in school swimming lessons, peers is a good way of making the activity different by using peers within the class. Children can work with a friend to adapt and change the activity to suit their individual needs. Right, everyone, come around. Come round, come round. Come down as much as you can so you've not got to shout as far. So this group had the job of adapting the previous game following the STEP principle. So what do the letters in STEP stand for? What do the letters in STEP stand for? Anyone on side know? Space. So the S is for changing your space. So it could be changing the depth or it could be changing the area. It could be the location in the pool that you change. What does the T stand for? Task. So what they're actually doing. So the task might be altered slightly. What does the E stand for? Equipment. So you might add or remove equipment. And what does the P stand for? What does the P stand for? People. So the person. So the adult might give some support or no support. So you're changing the people that are helping. You might have a level 1 assistant that helps. You might have a school teacher that helps. You might have a peer, one of the friends that helps. Every single activity that you plan, think in your head, STEP. How can I change any of those? Do I need to change them? Do I not? Do I need to change them for some people and not for other people? Like we say, everybody shouldn't be doing the same thing. You should have some level of adaptation going on within your lesson so that everybody is being challenged at a level that is correct for them as an individual. So this group, you thought of some ideas of how to change the other group's game, didn't you? So go on, do you want to show us a few little examples?
Instead of running,
Yeah,
treading water.
brilliant. So treading water instead of running, yeah? So that's the task changed, isn't it? Yeah, any more?
Lying down.
Lying down instead of doing that? Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So that's the task. You've changed what they're actually doing. Yeah, any more?
Travelling, we have something to the side.
Yeah, so instead of doing it on the spot, moving.
Instead, running to the goal, swimming to the goal.
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah, we can get creative. Children have got amazing imaginations, haven't they? You can make it up as you go along. How can we change the people in that game? Yeah, so the adult can be supporting. What about equipment? Floats, noodles, so that they can actually travel and float while they're doing the activities. Well done. So we've used the step principle there to change the game that the other group designed. Okay. Are we ready to watch this group? So what game did you do this group and how did you step it?
Originally we did Simon Says.
Simon Says, yeah, we all listening? Ready? Yeah, Simon Says, yeah. So it was just saying Simon Says, but changing the space to not having feet on the floor, advancing it so that the feet are up, yeah? Anything else that you changed on your Simon Says?
We were going to use these as visual aids.
Brilliant.
Simon Says, green to do it, red not to do it.
Amazing. Who's that good for, a visual aid? Yeah, children who might not be able to hear either as a hearing impairment or just because they've got the hat on. Yeah, great idea, that, like it. Any more changes off step?
We did it quite slowly so we could speed it up.
Nice. Yeah, so you're changing the pace of the task. So the task hasn't changed, just give them more time. Yeah. Yeah, so some children need processing time, so you give them the instruction. You might give them 10 seconds before you then expect them to do it, because they've got time to process that activity and work it out. Anything else? Or was that everything you've covered? Yeah. Roads, like turntable. Yeah. Simon Says is an amazing activity for an initial assessment, so you can see what someone's starting ability is, rather than sheep dipping them one at a time. Get them to do Simon Says near the wall and then change your space. Yeah. So it's a really quick way of assessing ability. Simon Says is also great for teaching water safety. We've just heard about the rotations, the floating, the aquatic breathing. It's really good game to cover loads of stuff in one go. Well done, that group, some great ideas. So every game when you leave today, think about your step. What are the 4 key messages of the water safety code? It's a bit of a clue, they're on that poster there. They're on there. If you don't know those water safety code messages, learn them. A game, last game, then we're going to get out. Water safety code game. When I shout a number, you are going to do the corresponding action off the poster. So when I say number 1, you're going to stop and think. You're going to stop, think, and look at the environment. Number 2, you're going to stay together. So you're going to go right next to somebody within arm's reach. Number 3, you're going to pretend to phone 999. And number 4, you're going to do a star float on your back. While we're doing this game, think about how you could step it, how you could change your space, task, equipment, and people. Okay? If you get stuck, it's here. All right? So start swimming around. Move around the pool in a way that suits you. Number 1. Yep. Swim around again. Move in a different way now. Travel in a different way. Two. What's 2? Go together. Swim within arm's reach. Travel again. Move around. Move, move, move. Move in a different way. Number 3. What number do we call? 999. Well done. Move again. Move again. And number 4. Thanks very much, everybody, for attending today's training session and for your ideas and contributions, particularly practical ideas in the pool session. After today's session, please take the time to ensure that you've signed up to the Swim England School Swimming and Water Safety Charter And there are also a number of resources available from the Swim England shop, including water safety activity cards, which give you lots of ideas for games and activities relating to water safety. And there are some water safety question and answer cards, which are fantastic to use as a practical element within a school swimming and water safety lesson or within a family water safety programme. Thanks very much, everyone.